Yes. This is Errol Spence Jr. You're watching True School Sports. All right.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, I was at the Chris Algieri Errol Spence post-fight press conference, and first of all, let me say thank you to PBC. I guess thank you Al Heyman, all that good stuff. Thank you for having me. I was very great. I was very happy to be there. Had a great time, great fight. They treated the media pretty well there, for the most part, from my experience at least. With all that being taken into account, we got to keep it 100 on this channel. There was a ton of smoke being blown up in the room. More so, I should say, there was a lot of smoke being blown up Errol Spence's ass because he had a great performance. Now, we're not taking anything away from Errol Spence. He had a great performance against a guy in Chris Algieri who was very hard to look good against. Few guys have ever looked good against Algieri. Only really Pacquiao has looked good against him. That's just facts. So with all that being taken into account, it's a great win. Now, it's a great win, and it's really the first quality name on Spence's resume. And, between Lou DiBella and Errol's trainer, Derek James, they just took that win. A great performance. I'm not taking anything away from it, but they took the win and they just ran somewhere else with it. Now, Derek James, videos on the channel, you can go look for yourself. Derek James was talking sideways, saying that Errol Spence, he was comparing Errol Spence's skills to Manny Pacquiao's, and he shredded Manny Pacquiao's skills, discredited Manny Pacquiao's skills, saying that Manny Pacquiao has no jab, no fundamentals, no this, no that. And that's why he didn't stop Algieri, and that's why Errol did. And that's basically what he said. DiBella, on the other hand, he stated that Kell Brook, who holds the IBF welterweight title, which Errol Spence is now the #1 mandatory for, I believe, or he's about to be the #1 mandatory for. He's saying that basically that because of this performance against Chris Algieri, that Kell Brook will want nothing to do with Errol Spence. So, BoxingScene.com, we're going to go to the quotes. Eddie Hearn responds to what DiBella had to say, and I like this quote. I like what Eddie Hearn had to say. He stated the following in regards to what was said in the room that night when I was there. He said, I quote, "I know you guys being DiBella and Errol Spence, and I guess Derek James as well, I know you guys are tickling your balls with Spence, but Kell has no problem fighting him, especially as is mandatory." And that's all he really said. So, that's good news to hear, because if that does hold true and there's no coonery involved in making that fight happen, I mean, hey, you have two very supremely talented welterweights, two very big welterweights who are probably going to finish their career at 154. Big guys. And they are saying, he's saying right now that Kell's not afraid to fight him. So I'm hoping when the time comes to make that fight happen, that it gets made. Obviously, Kell Brook has been highly criticized because his best win was against Sean Porter, and that's how he became a champion. Since then he's fought the likes of Jojo Dan, Frankie Gavin, and Kevin Bizier. So really, nothing to write home about. With that being said, he's got to fight Errol. That's the fight we want to see. Just Brook versus anybody, but the guy, the level of guys he's been fighting recently. And there are some people that believe Brook is the best welterweight in the world. I think now a lot of people are on the Errol Spence hype train, and they think he's the best welterweight in the world. Some people think Thurman is the best welterweight in the world. We'll find out in due time. But Hearn has already came out and he said that they'll make the fight happen. So I'm looking forward to it. If that fight did happen, I mean, that'd be a tough fight to pick. Obviously it's hard to pick a guy. For me personally, it's hard to pick a guy against a guy like Spence who goes to the body so well. I'm a big fan of guys who go to the body. And body punching is a thing that's a lost art in boxing these days. He goes better to the body than anybody at 147. I've told you guys time and time again that Errol Spence is the best body puncher in the welterweight division. And it is what it is there. But Brook has a great jab. Brook knows how to move. Earl, as good as his body work is, and as good as he is at cutting off the ring and has those things, Brook's got power, man. He's got a good straight right hand, a really good jab, and he's got the size to match Errol. So with that being said, man, Kell, you can't sleep on Kell, and Kell can really piece up Errol. I mean, as much as I know some of the American fans might not want to realize it, but Kell Brook can piece up Errol Spence. I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm saying that's a very likely possibility because Errol, look at the Alejandro Barrera fight. Alejandro Barrera hit Errol Spence 2 times consecutively with a check uppercut and a straight right hand. I mean, and that's a really hard combination to land on anybody, let alone a guy with the talent of Errol Spence. So he's shown in the past that he's a hittable fighter. And, you know, against Alejandro Barrera, he can get away with it. Against the likes of Chris Van Heerden, he can get away with it. Against Chris Algieri, he can get away with it. But Kell Brook, I mean, I'm not sure he's gonna get away with it. So I'm gonna have to agree a little bit with John David Jackson because I interviewed John David Jackson, and he said that nobody's really tested Errol in one area. And, you know, even Chris Algieri, who Jackson, you know, trains, couldn't really test Errol. So Brook can test Errol a lot in the power department, the strength department. I think it's a great fight, man. So hopefully it gets made. But yeah, Eddie Hearn, man, coming out and saying that he has no problem making that fight. Kell has no problem making that fight with Errol Spence Jr. Let me know what you guys think. Will that fight get made this year in 2016, or is it just, you know, more hoopla to keep their name in the headlines? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you could love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.